Incredible that Essendon and Collingwood hadn't met in a final since 1965. Leading up to this, Collingwood had won their 2 finals games with their best games of the season. The army of Magpies supporters were thirsting for this to be the year. But the Pies were missing David Cloke, Mark Williams and Jeff Rains through injury. Essendon, after earning a week off for finishing on top, had lost their only final by just 8 points to Hawthorn in last Sunday's epic second semi-final. For the Bombers, this was another chance to get a crack at the Hawks after their record drubbing in last year's grand final. 73,000 people at VFL Park for the showdown. We join 2 minutes after the start, and with me, Tim Lane and Mike Fitzpatrick. Madden comes from behind. Williams ducks his head, misses with a hand pass, close to the boundary line now. Eventually the whistle goes and the umpire will ball it up just inside the line. Interchange for Essendon, Harvey and Bahagia, and Rains hasn't taken his place for Collingwood.
Mike, I thought very surprising Madden wasn't penalised then. Seemed to be in the back.
It was surprising. I think they're very loath to give kicks in the ruck at the moment early in the game.
Body jostling here. Madden wins beautifully to Williams, but he was well tackled by Abbott. No, he wasn't. Abernethy pushed him in the back, says umpire Cameron. Or was it Saws? It was umpire Saws. There's the kick to half forward. Derek Shaw, the big leaper at the back. Barham into attack for Collingwood. Gary Shaw first to the ball. Down the ground there's a player. Andrews calling for it. Professional free kick given. Gary Shaw takes it behind half forward. McEwen, a long way up. Very awkward looking kick, and it's a high floater. Andrews, a beauty.
Andrews very strong on that occasion, using his body very well, pushing Hurd out. If Hurd's going to be the man to watch Andrews, he's certainly going to need to be prepared to get away from him and try and reach across to get the punch in. Certainly in a man-to-man body duel like that one, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Surprising to see a player of such low physical strength given the job on Andrews.
Collingwood 1 goal on the board after Ron Andrews marked them goal. Mullane, who's been starring for Collingwood since his inclusion in the side just late in the season. Barham's hand pass intercepted by Baker. On to Watson. Williams. Good low pass out wide to half forward flank. Drops short of Vanderhaar though. Phillips on him. Brown for Collingwood. Dashes away. Short pass to the wing to Banks. Good spoil Walsh. Brown again. Didn't have anyone to give it to. Vanderhaar for Essendon. Back to Walsh, who followed up. Across the half-forward line. Watson, too far out to score. Pauses, puts it out in front of Baker. Should be a goal. Leon Baker to level the scores, and he's done it.
All square. This time Shaw beats Madden, but Williams sharks it and kicks long, but not accurately. McEwen forced to go the spoil. Ezard cleverly off the ground. Strong tackle. Baker wins the free kick. Not only that, he hurt Taylor. Merritt leading out into the pocket. Baker goes direct towards Ezard, who is penalised. Reckless leap. Never in good position for it. And the free kick goes to McEwen in the last line of defence.
Another professional free kick given by the Essendon players.
Third kick to McEwen. Short of centre wing. Derek Shaw comes down to Richardson. Great pass. Banks is there at half forward. Walsh beats him again. Going great guns, Kevin Walsh. Towards Danaher. Spoiled by Toomey. All Essendon on the floor. Folds. Great pass to Madden. Awkward bounce, but he's got support. Neagle. Good running by Merv Neagle. Hesitates. De Vanderhaar. 45 metres. Beauty.
Good running.
8 minutes gone. The Dons in front. A bad bounce, so the smaller players can go for it. Mullane beautifully off to Tony Shaw, who kicks with the wrong boot and kicks further than he normally does with the left. Was that a push in the back? Not ruled so. Duckworth goes the subterranean kick and did it well. To Hurd. Good Shepherd Neagle. Sets it up for Hurd. Gives him 10 metres. Williams back to Hurd. Dacos with the late tackle. Forced the error. And Collingwood win a free kick for holding the ball against Hurd. Great endeavour by Dacos, and he then delivers nicely and finds Mullane.
Breaking from centre wing. Short pass off the left boot. Bounces off Banks. Gee, Walsh is really getting in there and using his body well. Umpire comes in and will ball it up right in the corner of the centre square.
Not a huge looking frame, that of Kevin Walsh, but he is using it. Beautifully Madden to Neagle, who's in the action again. To the centre. Danaher late, and Tony Shaw with immense courage takes the mark. Out wide to McEwen, who's running well out of defence, but gets himself into trouble. Back whence it came to Shaw. Gary Shaw spills a sitter and folds. Emerges to Watson. But the ball just runs away from him. Throw in, half forward flank for the Dons.
Should be a great battle between Watson and Tony Shaw. Shaw, who's won most possessions in the VFL this season. Phillips couldn't grab it. Umpire Saws comes in and will ball it up. Essendon 2 goals, Collingwood 1. 9.5 minutes played in the first term. And look at the condition of VFL Park. Absolutely amazing considering the wet week that we've had in Melbourne. Pulled off the ball to me when he didn't have it. Free kick.
From half-back, call from Phillips for the hand pass, but he goes with the foot and finds McEwen, who is covering the back half of the ground like a greyhound at the moment.
Look at that professional 15 yards. Essendon are very good at this, been the best side of it all year, but they continue to give 15 yards simply to hold the ball coming forward.
Well, he must have awarded about 60 against Merritt because he's brought him from centre half back into Collingwood's attacking half. McEwen kicks long. Andrews with 2 to beat. Madden at the back got the fist away. Richardson and Dacos were on it. Richardson the kick. Couldn't get enough hook on it. It's the first behind of the preliminary final to Collingwood. The Magpies trail by 5 points.
Duckworth, who did such a great job last week on Matthews. Ball flicked out Essendon's way. Goes to Hawker. Back to Neagle. From half-back, he's kicked towards the wing. And Danaher with Toomey. And out for a throw-in.
Interesting approach to the ball there by Ronnie Andrews, I thought, on Simon Madden.
Looked like a good old nudge, but the umpire didn't see it. Derek Shaw against Madden. Madden's had the better of it, but this time Shaw wins well to Mullane, who's beautifully smothered. Corker, the player really getting over the ball and holding it up on the wing. So, another throw-in.
Collingwood running right to left have a slight breeze in the first quarter. Left-hand end was the scoring end in the reserves, won clearly by Carlton. Hooked up towards half forward. Collingwood free kick. Phillips held. To the centre of the ground to Gary Shaw. He's dropped a couple of marks, letting Essendon in. Williams paddles the ball out delightfully in front of Baker. Beautiful pass right on the chest of Vanderhaan. Essendon players free on the forward line. Danaher doubles back, but the 2 Essendon players hit the ground. Phillips keeps his footing and comes out of the back pocket.
Wonderful play by Phillips, who flew in awkward position, gathered his own knockdown and then kicked beautifully to Taylor, who finds Derek Shaw off half-back. Oh, he kicks it into the clouds. Not good delivery to his forwards. Walsh again, well tackled by Dacos, but off to Neagle. Bradbury through the middle. Lovely delivery to Vanderhaan, who's looking dangerous. Low towards Merritt, 2 to beat. Beautifully rode by Baker, his second goal.
Essendon with a big break, and they're kicking into the breeze. Madden wins, down to Hawker. It was going to be the Bombers free, allowed to play on. Hawker's long high kick. Out comes McCormack, spoils a teammate. Baker in front again, coming up for a hat-trick. He's got it!
Great break to Essendon, 17-point lead at the 14-minute mark, and Madden has dominated the ruck work. Watson, oh, beautifully done to half forward. Williams with 2 to beat, and he did it cleverly to the back of the pack. But Mullane was the rover for Collingwood. Not a good left foot kick, but he finds Tony Shaw backward of the wing. Over the top, Barham from the wing. Richardson hemmed in. Well done, good handball. Banks, hurried kick. Bounced inside, a throw in Collingwood's left forward pocket. Moved it pretty well, but there was always pressure on them, and there was never an easy kick in the exchange.
Weston on to Andrews.
And Hurd now has Dacos, so he's had 2 big jobs in the last 2 weeks. Russell Green and Peter Dacos. Madden wins. Hurd fumbles. It's knocked away from him. He'll take a free. From the back pocket. Essendon 4 goals. Collingwood 1-1. Short pass could be dangerous. Clark. Beautiful hand pass. Weston covering ground from defence. Putting it out in front of Bradbury. This is danger. Bradbury dashes away from Mullane, bouncing the ball. Oh, Mullane did well, but he decked him after he got rid of the kick. Relayed free kick, and Mullane being spoken to. Quickly taken by Williams. Van der Haar a chance. No, the umpire's going to make Darren Williams go back and take his kick again. Not sure why.
No, I would have thought advantage was surely the call there. And it could have been a goal to Essendon, because if Van der Haar could have held the mark, well, surely Essendon were being penalised by having the ball brought back. Lead, Danaher.
Well, Toomey's just been taken off the ground, who was tagging Danaher, and Morwood's come onto him, and immediately Danaher starts to play a role.
Very kickable. He's only 40 metres out. The Bombers can't miss.
Four minutes later, and both sides have added a behind.
Decision too. Neagle probably ran about 10 metres further than that once last week without being penalised, but had to go that time. Tony Shaw. Again, the pressure was there, and the kick wasn't a very effective one. Essendon getting to the ball in 3s and 4s, but this time Collingwood went out. Mullane onto Gary Shaw. Dacos. Now Weston. Well done. Took the risk. Hurd. Clark. All space out there. Clark with 30 metres. Thompson. Van der Haar missed an easy one, but used the body a treat. Watson with strength. Couldn't quite hold it, and away goes Tony Shaw.
This will be a great battle, Shaw and Watson. Tapped away by Neville Shaw, who was legged by Duckworth, and he'll take the free kick.
Duckworth really is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. He's done that twice, and he's also picked off one player behind the play, and he's really going to have to be very careful.
Bombers leading 5-1 to 1-2. 21 minutes gone in the first term. Andrews. Well, Rough Ronnie played only 1 game during the whole season in the home and away games for Collingwood. He's played all 3 finals and has played a big part in all of them.
Yes, that was certainly very effective. Just a sidelight here, umpire Cameron talking with Duckworth after the last couple of incidents.
Andrews got the first goal for Collingwood. And now he's got both their goals.
So an important goal, but Essendon still with a nice advantage. Neagle to Madden, and again the Dons take it away out of the centre. Van der Haar in good position. Ezard goes the long way. A call from Baker. He centres towards him. Has to knock on. Watson didn't get the bounce. Taylor was under pressure. Tony Shaw. Gary Shaw. Back to the centre to Banks. Good spoil, Walsh. Cleverly roped in. Folds. Danaher. Strong attempt from Phillips, but Danaher in good position, marked well.
15-metre penalty against Phillips. Danaher doesn't use it. Gets Williams. Too far out to score. 6th kick for Williams. Merritt with McCormack. Tap for Watson. Good gather. Hook back, but it won't make it. Taylor is there, under hot pressure. Gets good support from Brown. Great hand pass to Abernethy. Beautiful kick for Neville Shaw with Duckworth. Walsh playing his 50th. He's caught by Barham. Holding the ball. Free kick to Barham.
Better pressure from the Magpies then. Banks in good position. Slipping Walsh that time, who was on the mark. And Banks is at centre half forward. Too far out, but he goes long. Here's danger for Essendon. Easy. Oh, centre. McMullen.
And the Collingwood players really couldn't believe it. Should have been marked.
Weston's kick in. All Essendon out there. Unmarked, a couple of players. Thompson. It was named as an interchange. Started in the 18. Donnell not taking his place. Van der Haar on his chest. For Rash. Down goes Abernethy. Has been pretty quiet so far after a great day last Sunday. Watson. Goes for the short pass to Baker. Well, Leon Baker is just getting in the clear so often. He kicked 3 goals in the first 13 minutes. He's coming up for his 8th kick and might have 4 on the board in the opening 25 minutes. In front, but 50 metres out. He hasn't made the distance. Morwood.
Great blocking by the corner.
Yes, Merritt double teamed then. And they couldn't get a go at the ball. Morwood from back pocket. Van der Haar, who's taken 6 marks already, was up there again, but Danaher roved it. Neagle. Starring on the wing. Can't go directly, has to chip it out wide to Thompson. Van der Haar. Beautiful kick!
Well, it's one of those ones that breaks the side's heart.
Goes to Abernethy. Good chase by Harvey just on. Look at the pressure Essendon are putting on. Persistence by Hawker. High kick, standing start. Baker again. Beautifully to Watson. Open goal for Tim Watson.
The Bombers rampant in the first quarter. 7 goals to 2. And again, Madden wins. Mullane got a high tackle. He's been a battler for Collingwood. It's his 5th kick. Goes short and finds Shaw. That's Derek Shaw. 1 of 4 in the Collingwood starting lineup. Andrews into the back of Weston. Shaw, Hurd. Harvey and Barham wins. On the half-forward flank.
2.5 minutes into time on. Collingwood badly needing a couple. Short pass to Banks, who's been pretty well held by Walsh so far. Banks, a good 50 metres from goal. Was always right and didn't have the distance. McMullen, the mark paid. It was a harder mark than the one he dropped a minute and a half ago, which should have set up a certain goal. It was a beauty.
It was easier in a way, Drew. Where he was in the goal square, I think he was waiting to see what was coming.
Improves the angle and kicks it behind.
Yes, I'm sure he doubled his effort there.
I think one can see the difference in the approach to goal. Essendon really are bringing the ball down very quickly and they're finding players in space. Collingwood are really struggling. They're coming up in a very static fashion into the forward line. Very slow.
43 plays 16. 27-point lead to the Dons as Weston goes to the outer side. Madden is the target, and what a fine effort against 2. And again, no fussing around. Straight off to Hurd. In short to Harvey. Essendon players covering the ground, and that's 15 metres against Morwood, who wasn't the man on the mark. Lovely delivery. Thompson. Inside is Clark. Beautiful delivery with the left hand. Van der Haar. I don't know whether he was the only option. I'm not quite sure whether he was the target. But Clark dropped it onto the left boot. There were Essendon players everywhere, and it was Van der Haar who got himself into position to take his 7th mark. 11 possessions in the first quarter. And 3 goals.
A 33-point lead at quarter time. Now we go to the start of the second quarter.
33-point lead to Essendon as the second quarter of the preliminary final starts. Watson puts the Dons straight into attack. Van der Haar in front. 2 spoilers this time. Taylor goes down. Ezard, the loose ball. Harvey, open goal! Started on the interchange bench, came on halfway through the first quarter, and the youngster kicks Essendon's 9th.
Well, the Bombers Collingwood would have been revved up by coach John Cale at quarter time, but the Bombers got a goal in the first minute. Derek Shaw with the free. High to centre half forward. Andrews, another chance. Did he push him out? The mark awarded. And Andrews really trying to drive it into Essendon. He's their only forward at the moment. He couldn't get a game for Essendon in the grand final last year, but now he's got a game for Collingwood against the Bombers. And finds Dennis Banks. Not much closer to goal. Into the slight breeze in this second quarter. 45 metres out. It holds up. Madden, Bradbury.
Essendon just doing it at will. Walsh the spoil. Down goes Abernethy, and Walsh comes away with the ball. Kicks long. McEwen and Van der Haar. Watson, the swooper. Floating hand pass was superb to Ezard. Bad kick. He was put under pressure. Baker again. With the left boot. And for once he misses after kicking 3 goals in the first quarter and giving 1 away. The Bombers in front by 40.
Looks like Morwood onto Baker. It's his 3rd opponent.
McCormack kicks in for Morwood. Outnumbered all the time, Collingwood. Baker again, slips a tackle. Short passes, Danaher. The skipper right in front, 20 metres from goal. 6 marks to Terry Danaher. This is an onslaught. I hate to think what they'll do in this quarter with the breeze after kicking 8 goals in the first quarter into it. Straight through the middle. 10-2 to 2-4.
Well, it appears that the preliminary final might be over. 3.5 minutes into the second quarter. Hawker first there, but he just shepherds for Thompson, who kicks forward from the wing and finds Danaher again. He goes long, up towards Merritt. Well played, McCormack, who outpositioned his man. But here's Baker again for his 4th.
Well, at the 4-minute mark of the second quarter, Leon Baker has 10 kicks and 4 goals.
Baker's kicked 4. He's given 1 to Watson and 1 to Danaher. Absolutely dominant on the forward line. They just can't stop him. Richardson going backwards to Taylor. Draws a couple. Finds Mullane. Good pass to Banks. Walsh playing him like a terrific football by Walsh, who's an unlikely looking customer. Kevin Sheedy is pretty well known for fancying him as a player, and isn't he doing the job for him today? Madden to the back, goes to Bradbury. Interception by Richardson. He needs to spark. Andrews leads again. And plays on. Rough Ronnie going for his 3rd. Nobody back in the goal square, and it's home. Well done, Ron Andrews. I didn't think you could do it.
Too little, too late, one would imagine. Not that it's that late, but the odds are overwhelming. Free kick to Harvey. From the centre. Low and direct to half forward. Toomey back on the ground, couldn't mark, but down to McEwen it comes. 2 against 1 in the Dons' favour. Thompson. Not such a good pass that time. Mullane, who's had a sterling contest with Neagle on the wing. Goes wide to Neville Shaw. Couldn't mark it. Strong play by Merritt. And from being an easy Collingwood possession, suddenly the ball is anybody's because it's going to be bounced.
Could have been holding the ball. The ball then travels out, and umpire Cameron rules on the boundary throw-in. Duckworth back on Andrews, and the two former teammates having a big chat to each other. We're 150 metres from this action. Danaher charges at it, taps it to the back delightfully to Clark. Watson going past, difficult left footer from wide out. He centres, Van der Haar. In front, 15 metres out. Van der Haar, Baker, Danaher. You can name the lot. They're thrashing them on the forward line.
8 marks to the Dutchman.
And 4 goals.
What a phenomenal performance by the Essendon forward line. They're really winning in virtually every position.
So it's 52 points Essendon's way. Just 8 minutes into the second quarter. Mullane is swamped. Tunnels it out, but the whistle beats him. And there'll be a ball up, almost in the centre circle. Well, there were those of us who thought that last Sunday's second semi might take a bit out of Essendon. But haven't they responded? And this would be a performance to perhaps strike some fear into the hearts of the Hawks. Not that those brown and gold hearts know too much fear. A free kick to Fellows from behind the centre. He kicks up towards half forward. First time his boot has touched the ball. Derek Shaw, the big spoil, but it's gone the wrong way. Watson to half forward. Fine mark. Baker again. Brown late on the scene. Baker standing his ground and taking it with strength. He and Van der Haar have kicked 8 between them. He kicks straight to the Dutchman, who is flying.
Well, Mick Malthouse today was saying that some of the Collingwood young players may well get found out against the Essendon side today after 2 finals. Coming up against very skilled players might find the third game a little hard. It certainly seems to be the case.
Number 5.
9 minutes later, and Collingwood have narrowed the wide gap by just 2 behinds.
Taylor kicks in. Looks for Fellows. Watson. Harvey. Looks like circle work at the moment. A long flying shot is just offline. 13-4. Plays 3-6. 58 points the margin.
It does look like circle work, and it's partly because Collingwood really aren't tackling in the same way they did last week and the way the Essendon players are today.
McCormack's kick. Van der Haar covers ground. It goes to Harvey. Back towards the pocket. Spills to Watson. Oh, he went the wrong way. Caught by Barham, dropped it. Holding the ball. Free kick to Barham. That's his second free from good tackles.
Watson had the chance to get out then, but went the wrong way. Danaher in from the side. Almost got the second grabber. Van der Haar, the star. Across ground. Thompson. Within range. He's only about 35 or 40 metres out. Now he drops it short to Williams, who's well within range. Goalless thus far. In fact, the Dons have only had 5 goal kickers. 5 to Van der Haar and 4 to Baker. 9 out of 13. Number 14. The margin 64 points.
20 minutes gone in the second quarter, and again it's a finals nightmare for Collingwood. Danaher out of the middle, hooking it over his shoulder. Ezard beautifully out wide to Thompson. He's got time, drives it long, too long for Madden. McCormack doubles back. Taylor, a fumble. Brown under pressure. Back to centre wing, it's all Essendon here. Danaher, at the back of him, Merritt. Beautiful play by Merritt to Hawker. Inside half forward, Madden. Close to the line, Taylor sees it out. Not yet. Now it's out for a throw-in.
Madden versus Fellows. Good knock, fellows. Neville Shaw to his elder brother Tony, who had about 3 coming the other way. Thompson barreled by Abernethy, who just hasn't had a touch. And Thompson takes it forward of the wing. Centres. Good direct play. Van der Haar again. Almost. Mullane. Brown, was it?
Fellows.
Fellows out of defence. Clark now. Centres well. Hawker. Saw a man bearing down, so decided to go back and take his kick.
So getting clear Watson. Leaving Brown in his wake. Tim Watson's 9th kick. Should be a goal. Ezard being interchanged. Tony Bahagia coming on for his first run at the 22-minute mark of the second quarter, just as Tim Watson lines up for goal. Close. Not quite.
Wherever the ball falls, we're seeing the Collingwood side being totally outnumbered by Essendon players. They're really much more prepared to run.
Taylor calls for the short one from McCormack. Takes it in the back pocket. In short again, where 2 of them lurk, and Toomey takes it. But Collingwood really having to do it in fits and starts now. Toomey has to go across ground. There is nowhere to go for the Magpies. Mullane, probably their best player, kicks beyond the wing where Richardson leads in the race. Does it well against Clark. In towards Gary Shaw. Thompson. Hawker. Call from Bahagia. First touch under pressure. That's a hard way to get your first grab, but Merritt takes the loose ball. Fellows almost the mark. Madden. Ball up, half forward for the Dons.
14-5 Essendon, 3-6 Collingwood.
Collingwood showing no enthusiasm fitting the ball back into play.
Magpies missed the finals in the last 2 years. Their hordes of supporters came out again after their 2 brilliant finals wins leading up to this game. A crowd of over 70,000 here for this preliminary final. But again, it looks as though they're going to be disappointed. Williams. Hawker's been great. Across the ground to Watson. Watson quickly to Van der Haar. Not quite this time, but he still might goal. Good pressure persistence by Paul Van der Haar. He's hungry today. He's kicked 5 already.
The hungriest he's looked in quite a few years. 16 possessions late in the second quarter. Toomey helps the ball on his way. Off the boot, was it?
Great play by Harvey. It was one you see in soccer occasionally, where you kick the ball into the other man's legs and it goes over.
Out on the full.
His legs.
So he has a scoring chance. He's only about 30 metres out. The angle, though, of course, extremely acute. But the Dons can do no wrong. It's Harvey's second goal, Essendon's 15th, and the Dons lead by 71 points at the 24.5-minute mark of the second term.
Just about to tick into time on. Fellows wins in the middle. Bahagia again. Just gets the kick away. Awkward one here for Western. Mullane spoils. Dacos has hardly been sighted. Mullane again. Going backwards to Brown. Up to half forward. Well, short of half forward. Brash. Neville Shaw. Taking it backwards, Collingwood. Another chance for Abernethy. Nobody there for Collingwood. A shocking kick by Bruce Abernethy. Thompson marks.
Bit of pressure put on Folds, but he's good enough. Hawker is really finding some space in this quarter. Here comes Van der Haar. Oh, couldn't get the second grab. I wish he had. Richardson, well tackled by Bahagia. And the error's being forced. Here goes Williams, lines up the sticks and misses.
Well, Van der Haar's looking for an injury the way he's going. He's so hot, he's going for everything, and twice now we've seen him come right over the top of the pack, and of course this is how he's tended to hurt himself over the last few years.
Well, I hope he doesn't spend it all this week.
No, so do I. He's a marvellous player to watch.
Kick in by McCormack. Harvey's got his name written all over it. Murdering Abernethy. Beautiful pass to the forward pocket, but it was well chopped out by McEwen. Dacos having to roam far and wide to get kicks. Hasn't had too many. Up towards the centre wing for Banks. Walsh over the top. Good mark.
Wasn't it a fine mark? Into half forward. Danaher and the Essendon forwards are just blitzing Collingwood. Of course, they're getting so many opportunities, it's easy, but they really are showing wonderful attacking skills. Danaher 8 marks, Van der Haar about as many. Baker brilliantly scouting the packs. Brilliant Essendon forward line. Danaher a long way from goal. Kicks high. Madden up in the middle. Couldn't get a grip on that. And a throw-in coming up in the Dons forward pocket.
Another scoring chance for the Bombers. Fellows in front of Madden. Dacos back in the defensive goal square to Taylor. This is going to be tough for Phillips. Van der Haar all over him. Phillips wins out and then is tackled over the line. I thought it was out. Boundary umpire doesn't agree. Now it's out back towards centre wing.
Just amazing how slow the Magpies are being made to look. Phillips looked like a draft horse then. Good merit in ruck against McMullen, who shared the honours. Tony Shaw. And now a throw in. True wing. Essendon in front by 12 goals.
They kicked 8 in the first quarter. They've added 7 more in the second quarter. Well played, Hurd to tap on. Danaher roaming free. McEwen closes the gap too late. Watson charges at it. So does Madden. Madden tapping. Watson on all fours. Out in front of Williams. That could be almost holding the ball. That for Williams. Yes, penalised. Good decision.
So it's McCormick at half-back. Certainly having his work cut out. Abernethy didn't mark that. And a ball up the result. Abernethy just not in the game, and he really looks bewildered and totally disappointed by the whole affair. Danaher and Fellows. Fellows favoured by the bounce, but ineffective ruck work, and Williams takes it away. Good play, Taylor. Richardson. Fold should have nabbed that and been away, but Toomey takes it. Oh, Taylor, uncharacteristic error. Tony Shaw back to the centre, but it's all Essendon, and away goes Bradbury.
Thompson's been a good player today too for the Bombers. They had a bad one. Maybe Folds against Mullane as their only losing position. Baker inboard, back to Thompson. And again further to Clark. Now Gary Folds a chance. Good long kick. Vander again. Spoiled by Phillips. Right in front is Watson. But the whistle's gone. Free kick against Van der Haar to Phillips.
It's excellent discipline, though, isn't it, on the Essendon players? Watson clearly knew that the kick had gone against them, but kicked the ball away just to give them time to pick up all the players. It's not pretty football, but it's certainly very effective football.
Phillips back to the centre. Collingwood had 2 up to Essendon's 1, but aren't in the race at ground level. Strength of Essendon in those crushes. Bahaja, and there's Baker. Watson, now he can kick a goal. That's his second.
And both of them given to him by Baker. And the Bombers added another goal before half-time. The margin at half-time was 84 points, which was only 2 points short of the record for a preliminary final margin, which Essendon set last year in beating North Melbourne. And then the Bombers went on with it and won it by 133 points, the record margin for any VFL final ever played. And their score of 28 goals 6, only 3 points short of the record score ever in a VFL final, set by Carlton 28-9 in the 1972 grand final. An absolute drubbing for Collingwood. Baker 6 goals, Van der Haar, Van der Haar 5, Harvey, Williams each 4, and Danaher 3. And for Collingwood, Ron Andrews was the only one to get more than 1, and he scored 3 goals. No reports from the game. 2 injuries, though, for Essendon. Van der Haar off with an injured arm, and Clark was carried off unconscious on a stretcher. But apparently they look to be okay. So all season, Essendon and Hawthorn have looked a class above the rest, and deservedly they'll play in the grand final for the 2nd year in a row. It may be an oversimplification, but on this week's form, they're 22 goals a game better than the 3rd place getter. But the difference between the two top teams is not much, as shown by last week's thrilling second semi-final. I don't think the Bombers will again be humbled by a record 83 points. But what does coach Kevin Sheedy think?
I think that we've got an unbelievably desperate want, which is probably the best and most I've ever seen at Essendon since I've been here. I felt a bit for Johnny Cale today because he'd lost 3 of his good players in the last 7 days, and that naturally wouldn't have enhanced Collingwood's chances. But maybe they were like us a couple of years ago, where they had a few boys in there that need finals experience and that. But I'm pleased with the game that we played because we kept working at it. We didn't have our concentration really broken at any time on really working hard, which was a very pleasing point from my point of view. And I was just pleased that the players had another crack at getting into the grand final. And on the day, it's 50-50 next week, and we've come a long way in 1 year.
You're in a very similar position as you were at this time last year. You just won the preliminary final by a record score, but then a week later last year you lost the grand final by a record score. Anything different now?
Well, we didn't come up from the elimination final. We've played 2 games in the last couple of weeks. The Sunday game against Hawthorn would have been the best game that Essendon's played in, pressure-wise, ever, since I've been here. We got beaten by a kick. We learned a lot from it. And I think that the players would have topped it off this week. And they're in there, and they'll give it everything next week.
When did you devise the move to have Baker in the forward pocket?
Well, most of my life, I watched football because I'm a full-time coach. And, I mean, you've got to learn something from John Todd. John Todd's a very, very fine coach, and most of his moves I used to follow. I'm watching all the interstate tapes that I've had, and sometimes the tapes are good, and as you can see in the last week, they haven't been too good to me, so you've got to take the good with the bad lately.
Is that where Toddy was playing in when he was kicking goals for
No,
Swan
he played in the centre most of the time, but you would journey him down to the pocket now and then, and I mean, that's just what happens. Sometimes they can come off and sometimes they don't, but you know, we're a better side this year than last year. We're a whole year better. That's probably the best comment that I can make.
What about Van der Haar's desire? I don't think I've seen him as hungry for the ball ever.
Well, I was on the phone to Vander for a good while this morning, and we spoke about things in his life and things that that him and I have worked at for the last few years. And he's runner-up in the best and fairest in '82. He had a couple of bad injuries last year, and people sort of drop off him very quickly, and he didn't have a good grand final last year. I think he was pretty embarrassed. But you'll see a different Paul Van der Haar this year.
Is he fit for next week?
Oh, he'll be right, too. No problems at all.
Nobby Clark all right?
Yeah, no problems at all.